What's up, guys? Pepper So Spicy here, bringing you more Tekken content. Today we are going to cover a little bit more of advanced tactics with Lei Wulong. Um, my previous Lei Wulong video, the Kung Fu, the Lei Wulong tutorial, is more of an introductory phase to Lei Wulong. As now that I've played more of Lei into the Tekken Tag 2 more meta, I believe I understand him more than ever before. Previously, I might add some updated info to that tutorial, but here I'm going to cover some advanced tactics with Mr. Wulong over here, who is dressed in his Tekken 4 outfit. Advanced tactics, and what I mean is by certain setups that I personally use and certain ways to get into certain mix-ups, because as we know, Lei Wulong is one of the best mix-up characters in the game. It's very hard to predict what he's going to do. It's a lot of guessing. It's very hard to react to him. A lot of 50-50s and ambiguous mix-up. And sometimes what I like to call the stance trance is when the opponent gets so mixed up by your stances, even if they're blocking it, that they don't know what's coming next. And when they lose you, like they can't keep up with your stance transitions and your mix-ups, that's when you really got them pressured and you can go for the, you'll be able to hit them, or rather open them up a lot easily. This is going to be followed by a video showing all of his stance transitions, and there's a lot of them, trust me. But that's a lot to cover. I'll try to cover most of the useful ones, but all of them will be in a secondary video that will follow this one very shortly. Let's talk about firstly creativity, because one second. Okay. One another key things about Lei is that when players start picking him up, another a common problem I see is that they can't it's hard to be they find it hard to be creative with him, and by that I mean they'll do this and then just do that 1+2 Razor Rush third hit, then Panther 1-2 right away, or fourth hit and then this right away, because they know that's especially if they play a lot of online and they're not in the higher level ranks of online. Not that online rank matters, but in the lower ranks you usually find more new beginner players, and they become accustomed to doing stuff like this, and it gets them free hits because nobody blocks them, so they continue to do them. But when you really fight an opponent that knows that what is it? This means this, and this means this. Well, they're gonna have to mix it up, and that's when you got to get really creative with Lei in order to create unique playstyle that your opponent can't follow. Because something that's really scary for me is when I fight another Lei, and their Lei does something that I would have never thought of, or it's something that I usually don't would do. Like example, they go back turn, and I'm expecting down 1 right away, and they do back turn 2, and I get opened up because I didn't expect that. Because even though I know Lei's options completely from back turn, hold on, dog's barking. Gotta close my window. Okay. Anyways, as I was saying, they do something that's unpredicted. Being unpredictable with Lei is something that's really necessary as part of his gameplay. Either you would do that, or you just play Lei like a normal character with just pokes and then try to go for a launcher, or using safe gameplay. But if you really want to play Lei to what his unique playstyle is, then you really want to utilize his stances, and this is what this video is going to be about. Now I'm going to stop stalling here and talk about advanced tactics. I'm going to go through each stance and talk about advanced ways to get into very creative and unique mix-ups, or think of ideas. Before I start that though, it's important to know the frames of each stance transition. For example, 1 forward on block is it's really bad. It's like -14, 15, something like that. On hit, it's even -6, but I mean, that's a bad transition right there, because you're actually very negative, because they could punish you for anything you do. Or any hit of Razor Rush, I mean, if it's blocked at the end, you're actually -11, I think. So if you try something, you're gonna get counter hit because they're faster than you. It's also important to note about not only the frames of each transition, but to know what's the best time to go into a transition. For example, down for 1+2 is only -3, I think. Hold on a second, let's check that. 4+2. Yeah, that 1-4 plus 2 forward is only -3 on block. Regular version, oops, lag there, is always wow, again some lag here, is -7 on hit, on block. So that's something to note about it. Or Dragon 2 forward goes into Tiger, but it's negative as well. Only like -2 in neutral. But rather 2 forward on block is just like the 2 by itself of Dragon is actually plus frames, like +2, +1, something like that. So, hold on a second, let me just. I don't want those notifications getting in there, it's gonna distract me. Science, there you go. Anyways, so it's important to be, know your transitions, know the frames of your transitions, and another really good thing about Lei is if you've managed to pressure your opponent, or at least trying to get there. It's important to know to go from stance to stance to stance. Now that's tricky because it doesn't really work with all the stances, but like for example, actually I'm going to do it on block here so he doesn't keep getting hit. Let's crouch. For example, like you're in Dragon, right, and then you do 2 forward, and then now you're in Tiger, and you're up for another stance. Now if your opponent doesn't know that, and you're actually like neutral or negative, you could either just parry in their face, just press forward, and then their retaliation will get parried, or you can just do the move right away, because even though you're not completely advantaged when you go forward, it does have a good amount of block stun, and they might think that you're actually plus on this. You're not unsafe, but you're just not advantaged, and you could go for the mix-up right there. Or like basic Snake, like 1-2-1-2 forward, and your Panther right there, or Snake 2-2 forward, and now you're in Dragon. Like something crazy would be like Snake 1, 2 forward, then 3, and then Crane. Like that's something like that's really crazy. Or like 2-2, rather hold on, oops, 2-2 4 4 4, then play dead and then do that. Or how about like 2-2 4 4, then Drunken or something. I actually meant to do 2-2. Oops, that's not right. Oh, I'm the wrong one. 2-2 4 4, and then Sitting Snake, and then right there Sitting Snake 1. Like that's some crazy creative stuff that it's actually very hard to keep up with if you can't follow it completely, because it's happening so fast. Especially something like if you do hit 2-1, you press hold forward, you go into Drunken, and you go for the throw right away. Or let's see what else is there. You could do 1, then 2-2-2-2, but don't go into Panther, and just go into crouch. And if they're, because even though you're negative on hit, most people are not gonna be ready to attack you, because they just took a long string in the face. And then usually when you hit, you want to stop pressing buttons so that you don't get countered on your next hit. Instead of going into Panther like most people expect you to do, you could just go into crouch, and then don't do anything, and then down forward 2-1, and then you could do the double low into back turn, and then do down 1, down 1 back turn mix-ups. Problem with that is down 2-1 is actually parryable the second hit, so and it's not a natural combo, as you can see. It's just something that's hard to react to. If you they just have to really recognize the animation, because they're not going to stop it either way. But it is something to think about. Snake, like I'm already talking about Snake, so I might as well go ahead with it. Like I know I said that Snake 3 is kind of useless, which I still kind of agree with that statement. It's not something you should really use that much, but Snake 3 could be used at someone coming in at you from far screen, and then it puts him into a position where he crushes definitely crushes highs, and some mids, and then he puts him into play dead, and then you go for a 3 right there, like a mix-up. You can also think that what's it called? So 1-2-1 forward, 1-2-1-2-1. If they block the whole thing, they're a knockback, and it does push them back if you want to create some space for yourself. You can also do like Like I said before, there are times when you don't need to go into stance. You don't need to go into the next stance to create the mix-up. Not going into the stance next is actually a mix-up in itself, especially if they know, like 1-2-1 forward goes into Panther. That's very basic. A lot of people know that. If they played Lei more than twice, they would probably know that 1-2-1 goes into Panther. They'd probably do like 1-2 and then just go back to mistake because he doesn't finish the whole thing. It's just a poke 1-2. Even though you're not negative, I mean you're negative on block on this, it's still like a mix-up in itself because you're not going into Panther. You're just going back into Snake 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and then finally just do it and then you know, go right away. Or like I said before, you're going into the stance, do 1-1-2-1, but don't hold forward. Just go back to neutral. And then, like, if they're expecting the low right away from this, because they know about Panther 1+2, you could do, like, a hop kick. Then hop kick right away. Especially right there. Even though built in, because Panther has the 2 mix-up, it's still unique. It's still mind games just to go not into the stance. Because you have to remember that Lei also has mix-ups without his stances. Really though, a lot of good Snake mix-ups go with the 2 series, because 2-2 forward is only like -5, like at 4, around there. The second hit is actually a lot less negative than the first hit if you go into Snake, Dragon. And a mix-up in itself is that if you just keep using this string, because a lot of people know this because it's a natural combo and it goes low, you just stop at the second hit and you just Dragon right away. And if they don't realize that, like they're still ducking because, or they stand up and because you know that you went into Dragon, then just go for the throw. I mean, they're ready to get hit by it. Or you can just keep going to stance after stance after stance, like 2-2, then Dragon 2 forward, then you're in Tiger. Like there's another mix-up right there. And this is especially useful at the wall because I will show you that. 2-2 forward, and then they're expecting the low because they know that string. Forward 1+2 wall bounce, Tiger 1 bound right there. That's already 2 hits, and it's already 54 damage, and that's a lot. Well, that's kind of risky because forward 1+2, Dragon forward 1+2 is actually unsafe. But the thing that makes it safe is that it has far knockback, but obviously the knockback is going to be nullified at the wall if it's blocked. So. That's something to know about it. See, even though he went a little bit far back, you could catch that with a pretty far Punisher. Because it's like -11 or something like that. -12. And of course, there's the Dragon mix-ups, which I didn't really talk that much about Dragon in my tutorial video, but like I said, there's the one back one, back one, back one, back one throw animation. Once again, very hard to react to, but you have to remember that. This is not going to work on someone that doesn't know about the throw. You have to make them scared of the throw first. Keep hitting them with this throw, and eventually they'll realize that this, when he holds his hands together, that means a throw's incoming. So they're either going to try to break it, or they're going to duck. So, it's not really best to go for a launcher when they're ducking, because, even though they're going to get hit by it, it doesn't leave a launcher unless it's counter hit. The Dragon launcher is only really useful if they're mashing buttons, or you're tricking them with the Dragon throw mix-up. If they're gonna duck though, because they're afraid of the throw, and the throw mix-up, because the throw is never like there's never a surefire way to tell if it's a throw or not, because they're gonna mash one. They're probably gonna crouch instead because they know they might get a free launcher. You might get a free launcher if they incorrectly break it because of the throw mix-up. Then when they crouch, just do 4-1+2, because it does 43, and that's already tons of damage, and it's all around good, and especially at the wall, because at the wall you get a combo. And of course, there's Dragon 3, which not a lot of people expect because there's only one low in the stance, and it's not really a poke. It's kind of just one free hit. Could also be used for last hitting. If you don't hold forward, you do go into full crouch, and then you go for like down forward 1-2 again. Or you go for a 3, something like that. And of course, from Dragon series, he also has his forward neutral 4-1-2 series, which this string in itself is one of Lei's best mix-up tools, because a lot of people who first play Lei, they're gonna know that they're gonna do the whole thing, and oops, and the last hit is a low. Unlike, though like Snake 22222, whoops, Snake 22222, it is negative on hit. So if your opponent doesn't know that, that's gonna be bad because you're gonna get counter hit here. But this whole string is very good for mix-ups because 4 neutral 1 Tiger, 4 neutral 1. I'll go up into, if you press up, you go into Dragon, and if you go down, it's Dragon as well. And the third hit the fourth hit, sorry, is hold forward, you go into Dragon as well. And of course, last hit, hold forward, you go into Panther. And even after this, not a lot of people know this because it's super slow, but this string actually has an extended version, which is the whole thing and then 4-4. Then the 4-4 Tilde series. And you go into play it right there. So adult low into a delayed low. 2 delayed lows and a mid if you want to. Oops. I can't get it now. There we go. So there's a long ass string right there. If they're really like, you know, anxious to hit you, they might get counter hit by that. You could even like endlessly do this. Like you do forward 1 neutral, up, forward 1 neutral, and then Tiger. Like there's another dance right there. Up right there, up, up, up. You know, you just keep doing it endlessly. As long as they're pressured, they're not going to do anything about it. And you could change it up in the middle. Like, you could just keep doing this. Keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And then at some point, like, it's a throw. Like, all of a sudden it's a throw. Like, see, that in its sense is already really hard to keep up with. And if your opponent can't follow you, or they're not down jabbing you, or they're not trying to jab you out of stances, then they're gonna lose, and you're gonna overwhelm them with stances. You gotta remember, like I said, to be a good way to be creative, like, or at least think of your own mix-ups, is just think about how each stance connects into each other, and how you can, like, hide your mix-up through stance transitions. Like, you know, you go into Panther, Dragon, you're like, oh no, throw, oh then, no, now I'm tired, now you gotta be worried about the low. Or like, oh, now what am I gonna do? Like, do I either stand up, do I duck? They only have like 2 seconds to react to it, so, you know, it's all about, like, is their brain really fast enough to keep up with you? Just remember though that if your opponent is on point, like they're not pressured, then you're gonna have a hard time doing this stuff, because they're going to keep trying to jab you out of stances and whatnot. So it's important to attempt to scare your opponent, make them pressured, so you can effectively do these stance transitions without being hindered. This is especially important even if someone knows Lei, because if someone knows Lei, they're going to be looking for negative frames, and even though they, like, for example, this isn't punishable. I can just hold down back and I'll cancel stance and I'll be fine. But it's not actually punishable. Like, it's not, negative 10 or what, negative 10 and up. So they're not going to punch that unless they're looking for counter hits. So even players who know Lei are going to be very patient, or they're going to be very aggressive and try to not let you start your stance attacks. Now for Panther, there aren't really that many mix-ups, but there are ways into Panther that that I didn't really cover. There's forward 1+2 down, which not really used that much because it's a double high, knocks them far back, kind of slow. But if you do hold down, you do go into Panther, and if you're at the wall, and then you're in Panther right away. And this is not a lot of people know that move because it's not used that much. You could definitely use this for free 1+2. Of course, not an extra combo. If you hold forward, you go into Crane, you can go for a free Crane 4 or something like that. Once again, though, there aren't really that many transitions into Panther, except for third hit of Razor Rush. Oops. And Snake 1-2-1. Oops. Snake 2-2-2-2. And, the last hit of the forward initial 1-2-2 series. Most transitions into Panther are kind of unsafe, so that is something to be aware of, except for 1-2-1-2-1. The important thing to note, though, is that, if 1-2-1-2-1 is blocked, this is unsafe. You're gonna get, like, counter hit or something like that. So, if this transition is blocked, it's best to not go into stance and just hold back, and you'll be safe there if you don't attack from there on. Also remember that Lei has grabs, so you know you go for like 2-2 and don't do anything, then just like 2-2, then suddenly up forward 1+2 throw. Like there's another mix-up right there, and then even after 1+2 throw, play dead, mix-up right there. You know there's an endless series of mix-ups that you can create with Lei. You just gotta remember what goes into what and how you can continue to dance amongst them. Tiger mix-ups, right? I remember before I said I couldn't really do down 4 1+2 motions. Well, that was actually because of my pad. My pad is really worn out, so I got a new one, and this one actually allows me to do down 4 motions really easily. Same thing with slide. It actually makes my slide a lot easier now. Now I get it like 100% of the time. But back to Lei. This down 4 1+2 is probably his best transition into Panther because it's actually only -3 on block. This means that you have the option of either blocking or continuing to attack. Now, if they don't know that you can actually down jab you out of this, you can just do 4 right away, and they're usually not going to see it coming because this actually looks like a safe move because it doesn't have a long like whiff animation. I mean, long recovery animation. And even if you don't do a move, you just hold forward, you'll parry their next attack. So even if they know that this goes into Tiger, you can hold forward, and then it'll just parry whatever they're going to do. Unless they go for low, which in that case, unless it's a really quick low poke, you'll be able to beat them with a Tiger 4 or a Tiger 3. Remember that from Tiger 1 and Tiger 3 are his fastest moves from it, with Tiger 4 being, I think, inside of 15 frames. Tiger 3 forward is only -9, but you can't block in Sitting Snake, so you have to be aware that it's still technically punishable. But it's really hard to react to Tiger 3, so if you go in their face, and a lot of scare factors, because a lot of people are afraid of the low, this is a true fact, they're going to definitely be hit by Tiger 3, because Tiger 3 is like, you know, very, very fast, it's probably impossible to react to. It's either Tiger 4 or Tiger 3. Problem is, though, if you don't hold forward from Tiger 3, you are -12, I think, or -11. Once again, there's the mix-up in itself, the built-in mix-up of Tiger 3 forward, you are in Sitting Snake, and then 1, or, you know, Sitting Snake 4. Oh, and another important note is that if you can actually not do anything from this, you could actually just go full crouch instead of holding forward, because it's kind of weird because Lei actually does move his hands forward into Tiger to reveal that he's doing Tiger. If you don't hold anything, he actually goes into full crouch if you hold down, and it's kind of deceptive because his hands kind of look like they're going to Tiger, but they're actually not. And once he's in full crouch, you could do something like while standing 1-2, and that's gonna be like tempted to press buttons because they expect a Tiger, but actually they're getting full crouch. Or you go into full crouch, like I said, down for 1-2, or you know, do the whole thing down for 1-2, 4, and you're in Phoenix for another mix-up. Or you could just do like play dead, like down focus 2, play dead. So let's see, play dead, and then get mix up right there. Or if you're feeling really ballsy and they expect you to, they're really anxious to press buttons, you can go for wall standing 3. This same kind of full crouch mix-up with Tiger goes along with Tiger 1, which is actually super safe. It's actually plus on block, like +1, I think. Let me just confirm that so I'm not talking out of my ass. I should have wrote down the frames. Tiger 1, Tiger 1, Tiger 1, yes. It is actually, it's +2. +2/3. Tiger 1 is plus on block. And once again, it leaves you in full crouch, so you can go for the down forward 1-2. Or while standing 1-2, because, you know, as I explained earlier in my tutorial, while standing 1-2, the second hit is a launcher. And it's kind of delayed, so if they're really anxious to press buttons, they're definitely getting a launch for it. Or while standing 3. Another creativeness is that every time you're back turn, don't forget about generic back turn moves like down 3, which is a lot of it's a very generic back turn quick low, which a lot of characters have, and it's very good in general because of how fast and it's quick damage, and it's leads in full crouch for another mix-up. Like a very creative and mix-up that I really like is if the opponent can't block or parry down 4 1+2. I mean down 4 2 1. then I like to keep doing down 4, 1, 2, down 3, down 4, 1, 2, down 3, down 4, 1, 2, down 3. And eventually they're either gonna start blocking low, or they're gonna start doing hop kicks. So you do this once, and then do it again, and then they realize you're doing the same thing, then you go for a hop kick right away, or change it up, go with the down one. Because down one is actually pretty safe. It's just that after they block it, that's when you gotta start blocking right away because it's like -7 or something like that. Now the other moves to Tiger. Speaking of Tiger transitions, there's the 4th hit of Razor Rush, which is it's actually very common to see this. So I would be careful about going all the way into Tiger because a lot of people know that the last hit is going to be Tiger. Either the last 3rd hit or last 4th hit is going to be a low mix-up. So a lot of people are ready to block low or a hop kick you straight out of it. Taking a Tiger 1+1, 4 1+2 is probably going to be your best transition if they don't know about it. If they do know about it, it doesn't matter because you're already safe from this. You can just block or hold forward for the parry. Also sidestep 1 forward. Also very good. Even though it does have a pretty long hit stun, it does not guarantee anything after it. It's like it doesn't combo. See? There's also I do believe that might be it. Well, there's the dragon though. There's Dragon 4+2 and this Dragon 2 forward. Which Dragon 2 forward is also a really good way to get into Tiger because of how sneaky it is and how neutral-esque rather you're on block. And that being mentioned, there's also sidestep 1 up into Dragon, which in itself is a mix-up right there. Something like that. Now you don't really want to use because sometimes if you just go in their face with Tiger, it actually is really scary, especially if they know about the parry, because in my experience, it does kind of take a while for people to register that they can't hit you with anything that's not a knee, elbow, body, or a low. Because they're not used to people having auto parries, because that's really something that's very unique to only a couple characters in the game. So either they're gonna go for a slow low, and if they don't go for a slow low, that's their brain reacting slowly. If they go for a quick low, then they're on point, and that's sort of something I would be careful about. But anyways, going to face the Tiger, very scary because obviously they know that this means low, you do the Tiger 3 very nice. Or you go for something really slow and kind of mind gamey is like Tiger 2, which does more damage than Tiger 1, is a bit unsafe. Not that unsafe though, it's not like launch punch or anything like that. But it does leave a counter launcher and it does more damage than Tiger 1. Now, Tiger 1+2, I don't really use it that much, but it does have a long range, and it's both safe, and it does a lot of damage on hit, so, use it whenever you want to, but I would just don't use it really against a mashy person, because the move is kind of slow, it has a delayed hit when you press the button, so I would be careful about using it. Crane, well, Crane 1+2, oh, actually, there's the combo for it. I did say I know how to combo, but now I do know how to combo off of it. You just do, you have to do delayed 4, 3, 1. There's not that. The ways into Crane are very, not something that, not a lot of moves that you're gonna use in your neutral, like, forward 1+2, up, forward 1+2, forward, snake, Crane, up back 4, forward, which is gonna be useful because up back 4 is very useful at the start of rounds, and then you hold forward and you go to a Crane mix-up. Crane, and then there's also what other Crane transitions are there? It's not that many Crane transitions. There's up forward 3 is gonna be his main one probably. This is the quickest way into it. With Crane, you can't really get that creative with it because it's kind of linear. There's the 4, which a lot of people have seen, so it's kind of fast, yet, if you block it, it is launch punishable, so... 4 1+2, you can kind of duck it because, there is the hop kick from this, so if you scare them with a low, you can get the built-in hop kick with up forward 4, or a 1. I guess that is kind of unique though, is you do 1 and you go into back turn, you go into the guard break, and then you go into down one mix-ups. not really that much really to Crane. I don't really find it that crazy of a stance, but that is some advanced. I mean, general rule is really just to think deeply about how well you can get your stances to mix together. Sticking to one stance constantly is not really going to help you in the end, because using all of them to mix up your opponent and make it so that you try to hide your mix-up, because go from one stance to another, you're changing what moves come out of Lei, and it's really about you know what you're doing next, but they don't know what you're doing next. You could be in doing the 4 neutral 1-2-1 series, and then suddenly you stopped at Dragon and you didn't go into Panther. Maybe they expected you to go into Panther and you didn't, and now you're a Dragon. And then wait, and they caught up with you. They're like, oh wait, now he's in Dragon. Okay, get ready for the throw mix-up and just block high. Because I'll just break that throw with a 1 break. Oh no, just go into 2, and then now you're in Tiger. Now you're in a whole different kind of mix-up, and now they still got to keep up with you. So those are all some pretty crazy ways to utilize the stances. Also, I'll get this explained, the stance, the whole manual stance change. Alright, so, if you do up from Snake, which is going to be his base stance, because Snake counts as his central stance, like, the Snake turns into all the other stances. Up goes into Dragon, and then Tiger. Go up again, it goes back into Snake. This repeats itself as long as you keep going up. Dragon, Tiger, Snake. Dragon, Tiger, Snake. If you go down, Panther, Crane, Snake, repeat. Panther, Crane, Snake. I mean, you would think that, oh, now it goes into Snake again, now it's going to be entirely different. No, if you just go back up, it goes into Dragon. You go down, it's the same thing. Go down, Crane, Panther, Crane. Go up, Snake, or rather Panther, then Snake, Dragon, Tiger, go down, it's going to be Dragon again, then Snake, then Panther, then Crane, etc., 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 etc. Now you can do a little kind of mini trick here, is if you sidestep while doing back 2-3 or forward 1-2-3, you actually do a mega, like a big sidestep, like that. I just did up and then back to 2-3, and then I just stepped all the way to the side, and now I'm in Snake for a mix-up. Same thing if you do down, then 4-2-3. See, he does a really big step as opposed to a small sidestep, or rather a normal sidestep like that. And now I know Lei manually sidesteps in his neutral. You would think that would be useful, but this means you can't block. You are neutral guarding, but then you don't block lows. You can't break throws. You're never gonna be seriously in a moment in match where you're not pressing any buttons. Like, the trade-off to this auto sidestep is not really worth it at all, really. There's also his play dead mix-ups. Really though, you really want to play dead either for end of the game, end of the round, or just go in their face and do it. Something, because I know I talked about you do this in the beginning. What you calls it? Doing that in the beginning, it will crush all highs and mids, and as long as they're not fast enough to catch a transition. My favorite actually now is to do the down 2-3 variation, which takes him into face up, feet away, and from that it will crush all highs and mids, and you can do 4 for the free launcher. Well, actually, I don't think that works, but I thought it would work. Like the delete hop kick. Anyways, also good for last hitting that one. You gotta know that you have all those stand transitions in there. You can also use play dead to get the opponent off you, because it's very hard to react to play dead attacks. So the best option for them is to jump back, which will avoid all the mix-ups, but it does relieve pressure off of you. That is pretty much it for advanced Lei, because like I keep reiterating, a general rule is just to be aware of all of your stance transitions and how you're gonna hide those mix-ups. And never stay linear, because linear is not the good way to play Lei, unless of course you're gonna play Lei without his stances, just using down 3, down 4, and then like use his pose like down 4-1-1 or 1-1, 2-1 for punish, and then just use his basic punters and forward 4-3 for his good neutral. If you're gonna play like that, go ahead. I'm not gonna stop you. That's actually a fine way to play Lei if you don't want to risk using any of his stances. But if you're his advanced stances, that is what you're gonna do with Lei. You're just gonna keep trying to mix it up, keep trying to hide your attacks. Really, I mean, if they know every move out of one stance, then put yourself in another stance, or don't even go into a stance. Just, you know, like I said, 1-2-1. Panther? No, it's not. It's actually a grab. No, you didn't see that one coming, did you? No, exactly. Or 4-1-2, cancel it, grab. There's another one right there. Or, another one is if you're in back turn, you get the opponent to be scared of down one, because they're expecting a hop kick, so they're never gonna block low because then it's just a little bit of damage. As long as I don't get hop kick, I'll be fine because this is actually an unparryable low. Instead of just doing down one, eventually turn it into a down four, back turn down four, and now you get a launcher. Exactly. So now they're gonna be scared to duck low because now there's an added element of danger is that sweep. Because they're not looking to block low because they're expecting a hop kick because they know this down one is a distraction to get you to duck for the hop kick. That's really crazy. Lei even sidesteps in his back turn and that even messes up his inputs. This is especially useful with the 3 back mix-ups. Like you just keep doing this, that, and then eventually go low, but don't go low. You're actually just fainting and going back turned. Just remember, you wanna never try to directly attack your opponent. Try to always keep your attack kinda random, kinda hidden, but you don't need to have a plan, but it's good to have a plan for how you're gonna attack your opponent. But yeah, I suppose that's it. I'm just gonna keep repeating myself here, so I don't really have anything else to say. Next following up will be the stance transition, so I hope those examples for mix-ups helped you guys out. I guess in the next video I will talk about all of this. I will cover all of this stance transitions like I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna talk about how useful they are, really. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.